You usually see Chi-Chi yelling at Goku, it's for a pretty good reason, whereas in the anime version, it just seems like there's these times 18 makes these straight up mean comments towards Krillin. I'll use a couple examples in the anime version of Dragon Ball Super's Tournament of Power arc. I think it's like between episodes 99 and 100. So 18 basically lets her guard down and is nearly eliminated, but Krillin ends up going ahead and saving her and basically decides to poke a little fun at her by pointing out her mistake, because as we see earlier in episodes of Dragon Ball Super, 18 has no problem pointing out Krillin's mistakes, but 18, she ends up getting annoyed by this and ends up telling him not to laugh, and even the Elder Kaioshin's like, oh, that could have been a really touching moment. But then later on, when Krillin lets his guard down, moments later, and is eliminated, everybody just goes ahead and verbally craps on the guy, and his wife, who you think would have his back the most, ends up making the comment that, oh, and you call yourself my husband, and just makes Krillin feel like total crap. And from there, it just comes off to me in that moment that 18 doesn't like Krillin calling her out on her mistakes, but it's okay for her to call out Krillin on his mistakes. And I'm like, yeah, that just doesn't sit well with me. And then my second example comes again from an anime only scenario with the ending of Dragon Ball Z, is basically where during the Tenkaichi Budokai, aka World Martial Arts Tournament, 18 asks Krillin why didn't he enter the Tenkaichi Budokai, and he responds basically that he doesn't have a chance against Goku or Vegeta. And honestly, when we think about how Dragon Ball Super takes place before the end of Dragon Ball Z, who knows how strong these guys are within that in that tournament, with like the people you had in there, like what, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, I think Fat Majin Buu, Pan, and a reincarnated Kid Buu in the form of Oob. So yeah, 18's response to justify her question is that she won the tournament 10 years prior, but gave the victory to Mark Satan. And Krillin is quick to point out how in that tournament, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, etc., they all forfeit due to the whole Majin Buu fiasco. And if we're honest here, we know 18 was, even back then, had no chance against a slacking Gohan. And then that being said, it's basically her only response to this is to tell her husband that he has no nerves or guts, something along those lines, once again making Krillin feel like utter crap, which basically always made me wonder at that point, like, well, if 18 was that confident that he could earn some cash, then why didn't she enter, given that she's even stronger than Krillin? So yeah, it's just those little things. But once again, these are examples that aren't present in their manga counterparts, so it's most likely just the writing staff at Toei who wants to add this unnecessary element to their relationship. That's why in the anime I say they are just slightly above Goku and Chi-Chi, because at least there's a much stronger sense of family values between both Krillin and 18, plus neither one is going to abandon the other, unlike Goku at the end of the series. However, on the flip side, Goku and Chi-Chi sure don't talk to one another the way that 18 does to Krillin. So if we're talking strictly what Toriyama himself has written, I agree, way better couple than Goku and Chi-Chi. But go ahead, Rebecca, let us know what you thought on this couple.
I mean, I feel like there's nothing I can say that you guys haven't said already. I definitely agree with what you're saying in terms of like, I like that in the beginning, it wasn't, yeah, there was like an immediate attraction because, oh, wow, she's pretty. But it wasn't, she wasn't just like, you like me, I like you now. It was like a slow burn, you know, like they slowly